Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Faisal Syed. I'm a current second year student at King's College London and I'm studying dentistry. I've made this channel just to talk about dental topics, how to get into dentistry and just uni stuff in general. So if you're interested, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, all of that, and just engage with my channel as much as you can. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how I got into King's and give you some clarity on the whole process. I know it can be quite ambiguous for some people and there's not really a lot of information about how to go about applying to dental school. So I thought I'd make this video to tell you about how I did it and perhaps give you some chances and some tips along the way. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments box below and I'll make sure I'll get back to them as soon as possible. I'm sure I've got a load of time. Lockdown really hasn't been doing anything for me. So yeah. So funnily enough, I didn't even want to do dentistry in the beginning. I was more set around doing medicine. However, after I did my medical work experience, that really changed. I really didn't like my medical work experience. I thought it was quite boring and I didn't really like the career choice for me. And it really wasn't as much as I thought it would be. I thought it would be way more exciting, but again, that's my opinion. I know some people really love doing medicine and they think it's the best career in the world, but again, that's not really my view. So instead, I thought, let me look at the other alternatives that are similar. So obviously dentistry came up and that's where my journey sort of started. So just to tell you guys a little bit about myself, in secondary school, I went to a grammar school and I took my GCSEs there. I took 11 GCSEs in total and my final grades were 11 A stars. So from that point onwards, I then thought, okay, what sixth form do I want to go to and what subjects I'm going to take? The subjects I finally decided to do were psychology, maths, biology and chemistry at AS level. And I did that at an independent sixth form away from my previous grammar school. So my favorite subject was psychology and I really enjoyed that. So instead of going down the traditional route of doing like two sciences and a maths, instead I did biology, chemistry and psychology and I dropped maths at A level. I also did an EPQ and that was based on dentistry. I kind of did it on like CAD/CAM dentistry and imaging. And overall my results for A level were 3 A stars and an A, one of the A stars being in an EPQ, don't be fooled. And yeah, so that was my experience with A level. So I had a decent academic record on applying for dentistry and I built that up as well with my extracurricular stuff, which I think is very, very important to consider. Considering what I did for extracurricular, I actually did quite a few things. When I was at sixth form, I made sure I did every single thing that was kind of thrown out in front of me. So I was house captain, prefect, I was involved in a lot of speaking and public speaking events at my school, and a load of other things, but those were the main ones that I did. I also did something called World Challenge, which was simply an expedition that I did in Mongolia. I fundraised for that over the course of 2 years, and when I went to Mongolia, I went and volunteered in an orphanage, and I did some open hiking and camping for about a month. It's quite an open experience, and it built a lot of my personal soft skills. Specifically, stuff like leadership and communication were built up a lot on this challenge because you're stuck with a group of people for over a month, and tensions can rise sometimes. So it really builds up a lot of your soft skills. Something key to note though is that don't think that you have to do something like World Challenge to stand out on your personal statement or something like that. There's so many different extracurricular activities you can do, stuff like theatre, drama, arts, sports, academics, like for example like the maths Olympiad, science Olympiad, stuff like that. There's a million different things that you can do. But the idea is you have to have something that you're strong at to show that you're an individual that is different from everyone else that's applying. Because bear in mind, you're going against the whole country. So just to wrap up, I think extracurricular activities are very important and they give you a lot of experience that you can add into your personal statement and make you stand out a bit more than your competition. So with relation to work experience, I really didn't like my medical work experience, as I said before, and it really put me off doing medicine, which again, is a key thing to know that doing work experience also shows you if you're going to like that career. You don't learn everything by shadowing like a doctor or a dentist, but you do learn some things and you get a feel of whether or not you'd like that career or not. And for me, again, it really wasn't the thing for me for medicine. So my dental work experience was a lot more enjoyable than my medical work experience. Again, as I said, medical work experience was just dreadful. I really hated that. But my dental experience was much more enjoyable. I went to a local practice, someone called a periodontist, which is like a gum dentist. I know it doesn't sound the most exciting, but for me it was quite exciting and I really enjoyed the work experience in general. And from that point onwards, I realized that dentistry was the career I wanted to go down and I really knew that this is the thing that I want to do and I started working hard to make sure that I got to that point. So in terms of my application, I applied to 4 different universities for dentistry. I applied to King's College London, Bristol, Queen Mary's, which is also known as Barts in London, and finally Sheffield. It's really important to research your dental schools before you apply to them because they all have their different teaching styles and they have different things that are positives and negatives and you need to weigh them up and see what suits you. So for me, I really enjoyed King's teaching style, their research elements and how academically driven they were. However, someone else might like the teaching style of Bristol more or Sheffield or any of the other dental universities out there. So don't just go by my options, think ahead and see what schools you like the most. So after waiting a little bit after submitting my offers, I got my interviews and I got my interview dates. My first date was King's College, which again was quite frightening because for me, King's was definitely my first choice. And for it to be the first one is quite nerve-wracking and I was quite scared. But thankfully, it was actually my favorite interview out of the whole bunch. It was quite easy, I felt. It was a bit more relaxed than the other ones. And I really enjoyed the interview as a whole. After my King's interview, I also got my Bristol interview. That was in January, I think. So my King's one was in December, my Bristol one was in January or February. I thought Bristol was my worst interview by far. I really thought I failed. I thought I answered all the questions horribly. I remember one of the questions related to research at Bristol and I was talking about research at King's. So I was really off the plot and I really messed up my interview. But thankfully, a few weeks later, I got an offer. I was really surprised. Bristol was definitely the one that I thought I'd messed up the most. And I remember leaving thinking, that's it, I just need to take them out of my books and not consider it. But I think that's a story in telling you guys that sometimes you might have a really bad interview or what you think is really bad, but you actually did better than you expected. And you shouldn't lose hope if you don't do that well in an interview because you can't really judge it until you get that offer or you don't get that offer basically. So my final interview was at Bart's, so this is Queen Mary's. And it was a panel interview and I thought it was quite a good and chill interview compared to the others. King's College and Bristol do something called MMI, which is multiple mini interviews, which can be slightly more challenging than a panel interview because you have different stations and at each station you have to answer a set of questions. So some people enjoy that more, some people enjoy panel interviews more. I like MMI more personally. Well, you might be thinking, what about your Sheffield interview? So I did get an interview at Sheffield. However, by that point, I'd already had my offers for Bristol and King's, and I knew that I wanted those as my first and second choices. So in the end, I didn't go to my Sheffield interview. So as I just revealed, I received offers from King's College and Bristol, and my last offer was at Queen Mary's. And the grades for King's College were A star AA, for Bristol they were AAA, and for Queen Mary they were AAA. It's important to note that now some of the grades have changed, so I think Queen Mary now takes A star AA over AAA, so make sure you check the university websites before you submit your grades. So after I secured my offers and I put King's as my firm choice and Bristol as my insurance, I just made sure I worked really hard on my A-levels and I put all that time and effort in to make sure that, I get the good results and that I get into dentistry. So thankfully, after months of hard work, I opened my results on results day and yeah, I had the results. I got into King's. I was really happy. I might not seem it now, but yeah, I definitely was happy. So that was my story. I'd love to hear all of your stories, whether you're resitting the year, whether you're planning to apply on dentistry this year, next year, or whatever really. Just let me know your stories, or maybe if you're a current dentistry student as well. Just let me know your stories in the comments box below. I'll make sure I go through them and give you guys some advice, perhaps if you're thinking of reapplying. So thank you very much for watching this video. It was just a little introductory video. I'm thinking of making more videos going over tips for the UK CAT, MMIs and interviews, and your personal statement, how to boost that as well. So if you're interested, just let me know in the comments box below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I want you guys to stay informed and get as much help as you can from me. And if there's any video ideas that you have, just let me know down below. Thanks for watching.